Hey Flosstube! We're starting with a super duper close-up because I want you to see my Jeanette Douglas framed. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with how it turned out. I'm gonna try to put my hand here so you don't see that glare. Okay, there. Yeah, I'm so happy with how it turned out. It looks great in the frame. It looks great on my wall. I'm just super happy with my Jeanette Douglas mini bouquet sampler. Yay! Okay, enough silliness, right? Okay, so welcome to Flosstube number 22. It's December 20th, 2022, and I'm Laura B with Laura B Flosstube. Thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed so far. I have 571 subscribers. I checked right before I started videoing tonight, and it's so exciting. So I'm gonna do a giveaway. Stay tuned to the end and we'll talk about that. But I am going to share my FFOs, my whips, my projects, my upcomings, my plans, and we're going to talk about that Pinkr Punkn stitch along that we're doing in 2023. Let me get set up. Okay, so you saw my Jeanette Douglas. La-da-da-da. It's framed and on the wall along with some other things that I've stitched this last year. Love it so much. I'm so excited to have that done. I'm going to move a little closer. One moment. Okay, I felt so far away from you. All right, my other FFO that I've done since we spoke last is my January calendar crate. I actually started the mini the night after my last Flosstube and stitched it up lickety-split. So here is the small for the January calendar crate. I can't wait to get this set up on January 1st. And here is the main January calendar crate. Stitched it on a 14 count chalkboard black Witchell Ada with called far DMC, except I switched out the blue and the teal. The blue I used 943 and the teal I used 598. So DMC, easy peasy to find if you want to make those colors swaps too. And then I finished it on 2 layers of sticky board. The first layer here I covered with a batik fabric that I got at the Apple Tree Quilting store here in Columbia, Missouri. Shout out to Amy and Eric. Hello! They're amazing. I love that store. If you're anywhere in the mid-Missouri area and you like batiks, they are the place to go. They have so many batiks, your mind will just be blown. And beautiful store, beautiful people, and so amazing. They've had the store, I think, about 2 years now. They purchased it like right in the midst of 2020 when everything was shut down and locked down. And they like came in and redid the store. The staff is super friendly and they're just amazing. So if you were at Apple Tree way back when, that is not the Apple Tree that you're going to see today. They are so friendly, so helpful, and they have so many amazing fabrics for you to look through. Okay, so that's my January calendar crate, the main and the small. Yay! In addition to that, I have made some progress. So my whips, I don't really remember how much of this one I had done last time, and I may not have made any progress, but I have been downloading the patterns from the Historic Stitchery. It's a German company and amazing patterns. And remember, I'm doing this on a 14 count Ada hand dyed called Storm, and it's by Picture This Plus. And here's my progress. I guess it actually, yeah, that's right. I don't know if I've actually made any more progress since we saw each other last. I don't think I have. I should get busy on this, but I wanted to get my January calendar crate done. I mean, it was the last calendar crate I had to do, so that's pretty exciting. Exciting times. And then also, I still do have the flags on the 4th and the fungi. I haven't made any progress on the flags, so we're just gonna say la 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 la. It's still a whip. It is still a whip. And the fungi, I know we talked about how I was gonna make it square instead of a diamond. I don't think I've made any progress on this either. I've really been focusing on the January calendar crate something I'm going to show you in a second. And Christmas. Yeah. I had to make more Christmas cards because I started getting Christmas cards, and there may have been a few people that didn't get a Christmas card that I was like, oh, crud, I can't be that person. So I had to make some more Christmas cards real quick. And wrapping presents, whew, wrapped all the presents. They're all under the tree. Thankfully, the dog and the cat have left them alone thus far. So, all right, but I do have a start and almost a finish. I was trying to get this done, and I'm just gonna have to say, okay, so last time I did a little shout out to Pam and Chuck because they came over and they were talking to Nico in the background and laughing and carrying on, which was amazing, and it was fine. Love them to death. They're both amazing people. Love them, love them, love them. But we've had 2 game nights that have really cut into my stitching time, although we have game night and we play hearts, and my husband's really good at hearts, and I had never played hearts before, but I won at hearts the other night with 11 points. And I'm just like, woohoo, I won. So it was worth it because I won at hearts for the first time. But 1988 Prairie Schooler Santa. He is almost done. I just have the border to do on him. I'm fairly confident that I'm going to get him done tonight. I do have one mistake, and I'm trying to determine whether or not I'm going to fix it or not. I'm off 1 square at the bottom here. So that means this border here, the 2 side borders are 1 square too long. So it wouldn't be that much to rip out, and then it would be like right. But I just can't decide if it bothers me that much. I don't know. Leave a comment below. What would you do? Would you just rip it out, or would you just say it's close enough and it's fine? Or I guess I could make his boots 1 more longer, and then it would be even with his boots again. What would you do? Leave me a comment. I might make a decision before I read your comments, but leave me a comment anyway, and that way, you know, hindsight's 20/20, because I'm sure I'll run into this problem again in the future, and then I will have some input on what other people would do. All right, so that is all of my cross stitching, my finishes, and my whips. My plans for the rest of December is to finish the Santa, the 1988 Prairie Schooler Santa. I do have the Lori Holt stitch cards set in, kitted up. I showed those last time, so they're on the list. And I have Autumn Love kitted up, but I'm not going to start it till January. But I think I may start a Pinkr Punkn stitch. In fact, I think, well, I know. I'm going to start Edna Viola's Saltbox. And this is going to be my winter break stitch. It is 60 by 60, so it's not that big. And I'm going to insert a picture here of it so you can see what it looks like. So I thought what would kind of be fun tonight is just to kind of go through the different Pinkr Punkn quilting stitches that I'm going to do in 2023, because I do have my 13 picked, because I just have to do this Edna Viola. It is so pretty. I love it. And I'm a crafter and a stitcher, and so it works perfectly for me. So that one has to be done. But then I got a perpetual, or I bought a perpetual calendar off Facebook Marketplace. And I'm going to replace the top, you know, 80s vibe wooden motif with like a cross stitch area. And I'm going to stitch the 12 different houses from Pinkr Punkn that I chose, and put those at the top of this perpetual calendar. So it'll be kind of like what I do with my calendar crate, except I'll switch them out every month, and it has, like, you know, all of the days, all the numbers for the days of the week and everything for the calendar. I will put like, you know, the title of the pattern, the month I'm going to stitch it for, and a link, a direct link to her blog. Thank you, Melissa, so much for letting me use your stitches. They're all free charts, so anyone can go and download her charts. She is an amazing, talented stitcher and quilter and crafter and home decorator. So yeah, So I'm going to put links and all of them down below. And then if you want to stitch along. Hey, so I'm going to do a little slide-in video. So I'll put in the list here. But here are the ones that I'm going to be doing. For January, I'm going to be doing the Winter Saltbox. And in February, I'm going to do Elizabeth Hartline's Saltbox. March is Dorothy May's Spring House, which March is my birthday month. So I chose kind of like, you know, one of my favorites. April is the Tulip House. May is Aunt Bee's Summer House. June is the Strawberry Salt Box, which is really near and dear to my heart because my dad grew strawberries the entire time I was a kid and an adult until he was too sick, and you know he's passed away 7 years now. But that's one of the greatest memories I've had. When I think about my dad, one of the things I think about is strawberries and picking strawberries, and even my stepdaughter's picking strawberries with my dad. So I'm looking really forward to stitching the Strawberry Salt Box in June. And then in July, I'm going to do Sarah Jane's 1776. August is going to be Katie Ann's Salt Box. September will be Susan's Summer Salt Box. October will be Ophelia Manor on Punkin Holler. Kind of has the pumpkins, so for Halloween, right? November, oh my goodness. November was hard for me to choose because there were like 3 different ones that would work. But I chose to, I've chosen to do the Turkey Holler Salt Box. And then December, again, there's a couple of several different ones that were super cute that I would like to do. But for December, I chose to do the Candy Cane Cottage because it is so cute. So cute! So I will put all of those names down below along with a link and the months that I'm going to stitch them. And so my plan is to stitch them either the last week of the preceding month or the first week of that month. So, and I think that I'll probably be doing the first week of each month. I'll just set that aside in my calendar. The first couple days of each month, I'll be stitching on the Pinkr Punkn salt boxes. So Melissa, thank you so much again for sharing your talent and for being so generous and sharing those charts for free with anyone that wants to get them from your blog. And follow me on Instagram because I'll be posting pictures as I am starting and stitching along. I plan to use the 28 count antique white Lugana cloth for all of it. I may decide to tea stain or coffee dye or maybe some RIT dye on some of them. I'm not sure. You'll have to stay tuned each month and see what I'm going to do. I'll stay tuned and see what I do. And again, remember to use the hashtag if you're going to stitch along with me, Pinkr Punkn 2023 SAL. And you can use that on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube actually now too. So yeah, I would love to see if you're stitching along. Great. So tonight, what I thought I would do is I'm going to kind of show you what I do to pull my flosses because I'm going to use Anchor Floss for all of these. And those are on spools. And my husband got me the Missouri Star Quilt Jenny's Countdown box for Christmas this year. So I've been opening gifts each day. And one of the gifts was this cool zippered tote. And the minute I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this will be perfect to put my little thread spools in for a project. And he saw it and he was like, what are you going to do with that? And I was like, oh, it has plans. I will put some things in that. So the other thing I did today was I made myself a project bag. So this is my Pinkr Punkn project bag. And I made a little clutch in here as well. And I do have my needle minder and my scissors in here and a needle all in here ready to go. And I've started using the white fleece in here instead of batting because I've noticed the ones that I've made with batting, it's like getting fuzzy and dirty and kind of like the scissors is like pulling it up and stuff and it's not holding up very well. So I'm trying out a couple different things and this is the first one I've made with this fleece and we'll see what I think of it. And I have another, I think it's a felt. I have another type of fabric that I'm going to use in here too on another one and see which one I like better. And then I will let you know in case you make project bags and you're looking for something different instead of the quilt batting. I know that a lot of the first ones came out with quilt batting in them and it was a great idea to use up scraps because we all have scraps of quilt batting if you quilt. but it's just not holding up in the long run, and I don't like that. So I think this will still hold my threads really well, but it's not gonna get yucky, you know? I don't know what other word to use. It's not gonna get torn up and yucky. So, and I do have a little pocket over here that I just have some clear vinyl in that too. And I am using a 10 gauge clear vinyl to do my project bags and my little clutch. And then I put a little pocket over here, and I have, let me take my scissors off of there so I don't stab my foot. I do have a needle minder on there, and then I have one of the rare earth metals magnets inside this little pocket, and then I just stick that on there. Stick that on there, and then my scissors will just stay in place. And I have this little tab down here to put my needles in. I usually put 2 needles in each project clutch. This one I've only put in 1 right now, but I'll put another one in there before I actually get started on it. And then I do have some snaps in the upper and lower corners. And that's pretty much it. This is really good because it will just lay and kind of mold with my chair arm on my recliner. So I usually just have it open laying on the arm of my chair while I'm stitching at night, and it works really well for me. And then the project bag itself, it is 12 by 15 because I like this window area here with the clear vinyl to be big enough that I can see pretty much all of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, because if I can see the full sheet of paper, I just leave my pattern in the bag. So like when I'm stitching the Edna Viola Saltbox, and this is a free pattern so I can show it, no one freak out on me, all right? I just slip this in here and I lay this on my lap, and then I can see the full sheet of paper for my pattern while I'm stitching as well. So I don't have to worry about, you know, my pattern getting torn up or lost or whatever. And I do like having a pattern like in front of me rather than using my iPad or not my iPad, I don't have an iPad, my tablet or my phone. I'm an Android lover, so for me to say that I had an iPad or an iPhone would just be a travesty. I'm an Android girl. All right, so anyway, all of that to say, here is my little thing that I'm going to keep my threads in. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up the photo again. Bring up the photo again, and I'm going to look through my Pinkr flosses and just pull out the colors that I need. So let's get going on this, huh? Okay, so here I'm just going through my Pinkr floss boxes, and I'm pulling out the Pinkr floss that I need for the Edna Viola Saltbox stitch that I'm going to be doing. And I chose, you know, the black and the garnet, and I really didn't like try to match them with the colors that Melissa has done. I really kind of looked at them and thought, okay, I need a really pretty red, I need a couple nice blues, I need a black for the roof, I need a darker black for the little crow, and then a couple greens for the vines and the spools, etc., etc., etc. And then you'll see at the end that I have all of the different spools in my little zippered pouch, and I'll keep those in the project bag with this stitch. And all the colors, I'm writing them down on the chart so I don't forget what I chose because, well, it's happened before. And I'll also include all of those color choices in the description box below the video here, so you can see that in case you would like to stitch with the same colors that I'm using for some reason. But obviously feel free to use the DMC that Melissa has listed or choose your own. Okay, so here are my colors. So this is what I'm going to be using for Edna Viola's Saltbox. And I'm going to start this one next week. So if you want to stitch along with me, I will put all of my colors that I chose down below. Obviously, you're welcome to choose your very own colors as well. And then I'm going to start stitching on December 26th. I hope you join me. And we're going to use hashtag Pinkr Punkn 2023 SAL. And I'll put that on the screen here and on the in the description box below. Okay, so this is all ready to go. The only thing I have left to do is just to cut my cloth. And I mentioned I am going to be using a 28 count antique white Lugana cloth to stitch all of these on. So I will cut that, and this stitch is 60 by 60, so it's about 4.5 by 4.5. I'll cut my cloth probably 7.5 or maybe even 8 inches square. So I have plenty of room just in case I decide I want to do a border or add anything, little extras onto it, and then enough to finish onto sticky board for that perpetual calendar display. I'm so excited about that. I can't wait. All right, so that is all of my cross stitch stuff. The only other things that I have to talk about are just what I've been doing for quilts and progress on those. And I will flip this around and show you some progress on the 2 quilt alongs I'm doing. And then I'll also give you an update on the Sew Simple shapes. First up is the Socialites 2 stitch along with Fat Quarter Shop. They have released 8 blocks so far. Oh my goodness, week 8's block. It's adorable. I love it a bunch. It's in the lower right hand. It was a challenge. A challenge to say the least. Oh my goodness. I think I ripped and restitched so many things on that block. It was ridiculous. But I'm happy with the result. It looks great. I love it, and I'm happy that it's done. There isn't a block this week because it's Christmas, but there should be another block next week, which is January 4th, 5th area. The other stitch along that I'm doing right now is the Lori Holt Scrappiness is Happiness stitch along. It's also with Fat Quarter Shop, but it's based on Lori Holt's new book, Scrappiness is Happiness. Basically, it's a sampler quilt, and we're doing 31 different blocks for this sampler quilt, and it's running through June. So I'm a couple weeks ahead, actually. The pumpkin is this week's block, and the Santa hat is next week's block, which is kind of funny because the Santa hat is, you know, December 26th block, but that's how it worked out, I guess. So I'm a week or so ahead of this with this one. And like I said last time, I did do the wrong Lincoln log block, but it's the same size, so it's fine. Over winter break, I believe I'm going to try to get several weeks ahead with the stitch along, just so I can get some sections of the quilt together. And then I also want to have some more time to spend on the Sew Simple Shapes quilt that I'm doing for my brother and sister-in-law. And I do have an update on that. So the Sew Simple Shapes quilt that I'm doing for my brother and sister-in-law, I have made some progress. I've gotten all of the background blocks done. They're like the blocks that you mount your applique on. So all of those are done. There's 15 that are like pinwheels, and then there are 15 that are 4 patches that go into a star, basically. I don't have the star portion of those done, but I you know, the center, what you do is you make the 4 patch and then you applique on it. So I have block 1. Oh, actually, this is not the smaller one. This is the larger block. So this one doesn't get a star around it. I forgot. The smaller blocks are like 6.5 inch, and then you turn them into a 12.5 inch block with the star. But this is the pinwheels in the background. And you can see I'm using different white on white tones for those pinwheels. And then this is block 1 of 15 of the larger blocks that are just going to be a 12.5 inch, finished to 12 inch block for the quilt. And there's 30 blocks total that I have to make, but one of them is done. I'm also going to try to get a few more of those done over winter break, just because I really love the applique blocks. They're really fun. And this, the Sew Simple Shapes quilt is giving me an opportunity to use my Sew Simple Shapes sets that I either haven't used or I've only used for one quilt. So it's giving me an opportunity to use those for more blocks and just play around with those. And I'm pulling fabrics from my stash, so I'm having a really good time just pulling pulling together the fabrics and making blocks that are going to look good. So I'm very excited to get that going. That's definitely going to be a work in progress. I'm not sure when it's going to be done, but you know, 2023 at some point it will be done. I say that, but I'm sure I'll probably have it done by, I don't know, March or April. We'll see how it goes. So that's kind of my quilting updates. I do have a small life update if you want to hear it. Like I mentioned before, I am doing the Missouri Star Countdown box. It's been a lot of fun. I've gotten several cute little things out of there. I got this rotary blade holder. It's like a little flower, and you put your used rotary blades in there, and then you have a thread cutter to sit by your sewing machine. That's really cool. I do also, I don't know if I have any in here. They did have like a set in there to make some zipper pulls, and I made 4 zipper pulls, which worked out great because I put those on my project bags. So those were really cool. And I have, you know, 5 more days to go, I guess. So we'll see what all is in there. And I haven't been disappointed with any of it, really. There were a couple items in there that I'm like, I'm probably not going to use hand quilting needles because I don't hand quilt or hand stitch anything except cross stitch. But, you know, I have friends that hand quilt, so I will be, you know, regifting some of those things to people that can use them. And the only, my other preparation thing that I did for Christmas was I made cookies. I took off the 12th and the 13th of December, which is a Monday and Tuesday last week, and baked a lot of cookies. Well, and actually my husband ended up taking a trip with some friends on the 10th. So I baked most of the cookies on the 10th, and then Monday, my stepdaughter came over and helped me decorate all the sugar cookies, which was super fun. And then Tuesday, I was able to just relax and unwind and have the day to... Again, I just want to say thank you to everyone that subscribed and watched and helped me get to 600 subscribers. That's the last thing we're going to talk about tonight. When we hit 600 subscribers, I'm going to make a project bag, and I'll make it in advance, and hopefully I'll have it done to show in the next Flosstube, and maybe I'll have 600 subscribers then too. But it'll be a project bag very similar to this that I kind of went over, and I will also make the clutch to match. And I may make a couple different ones, and then whoever wins the giveaway, you'll be able to like choose between 2 different ones, or like what colors you want or something like that. So my next Flosstube won't be until January. I believe it's January 3rd. So I will see you in 2023. And until next time, happy stitching.